Welcome back to the channel, and today we got something a little different. From what I understand, this may be the only one in the U.S. It's one of the mini cars they run over in UK quite a bit. The company, the Batcave Joker, Batcave guy says there's might be 3 in Canada, and this is the only one he's known he's sold in America. So maybe we can start something. If anything, we'll have a neat little car when we get done. The kit's pretty much built, so all we got to really do is add electronics. He did send some upgrades, some different battery positioning bits and pieces. So we may add those, but we are at least going to get this thing into a roller or a running roller because we got our wheels, we got a car, we got a body, and buddy Eric that owns this, he went down to Anderson RC and picked up all the electronics. We got our Spectrum receiver. We got a 1060 speed controller. We're going to run a torque tune motor, Eco Power servo, and a ProTech Shorty 2S. These cars are ballistic with these basic motors in them. They're so small and light, and so no need for no crazy high power or expensive powertrain. I think they run 45 turn, or they run like the standard silver can Tamiya motors. And we're going to run a torque tune in here because that seems to be the our local track. We run the TTO2s. That is a very readily available motor. So stick around. We'll get all the electronics in this thing and get it rolling, get the body mounted, and see how far we get. Maybe we'll get some paint on it. So stick around. All right, I hate to start another project without finishing something, but everything else we got going on is still pretty involved in finishing. First off, like I said, this car is pretty much built. These are some of the upgrade parts or just replacement parts he sent. This is our new wing, and this is a diffuser that fits on the body that we have to put on here. Some replacement parts, steering blocks. Suspension on this car is very basic, but kind of complex at the same time. Some replacement front arms. All this stuff is printed, but I'm not sure what it's printed out of. It seems to be pretty stout. More suspension parts. And yeah, no instructions, so I'm not sure exactly what all we got here. There's the battery upgrade. Well, the way to tell, the newest car has this little wing here. This wing protects part of the suspension that's exposed. Steering servo, steering blocks, more front end parts. We got our pinion gears, and here's your car. Like I say, this is how it comes. These new upgraded battery straps actually has a wing out here. There's a little rubber band here that's your kind of side to side on your pod, and you got a center spring in the back here that's your up and down. These cars have a lock diff. There's no differential whatsoever. It's a steel axle. They're made to be very tough, and yeah, that's the whole point of them. They got giant oversized bearings. Everything's beefed up for a 12 scale car, and I think our battery already fits. For some reason, that new battery tray allows you to, it's a little tight, it might just out. The new one allows you to move back and forth a little bit, so I need to see if this actually lets you come out some, because that battery just doesn't quite fit. Yeah, pretty simple. First off, we're going to go ahead and throw a servo in it, get the steering linkage hooked up. Motor, speed control, and receiver will go up here somewhere because there's not much room once you get the motor in. I'm assuming you'll have to stack them up somewhere. Maybe we'll put the receiver at the front. Who knows? Like I said, there's no instructions. This is a pro kit, I guess. All right, first things first. I use this Eco Power servo in my TTO2, and the same situation. It's a low profile, so the wires are pretty much at the end of the case. But with these printed servo mounts, they're a little bit chunky. It kind of pinches down on the wires, and to not take a chance of just vibrations wearing that wire out, we're going to take and just put a little notch in the back of the Dremel tool here. Simple enough, just make a little clearance for the wiring. I had a wire get chafed on my TTO2 with this with the servo mounts in there too. It was a little close. All right, now we got plenty of clearance. There's no pinching of wires. Sorry for the extreme close-up. Here we go. They got plenty of slots in the chassis. You can put the servo either direction, whatever you prefer, I guess, if you need to move it one way or the other. So it's pretty universal. We're going to try to get our servo gear in the center. They already make up your turnbuckles. It comes with turnbuckles. And we did determine that I think it's the Taba adapter. It comes with a servo horn, is what fits on this Eco Power servo. So there we go. We'll get this put up or put together. We got a little plastic spring here. I'm not going to set it yet because we don't have power to it, but we'll do that once we get some power to the radio. And it's like so. Run the screw up in there. Get a little spacer. Don't forget your spacer. If you tighten the screw up, it'll just pull right through. All right, there's that. We'll get that installed. Then we'll throw the motor in, and we'll crack open the tires here and see what we got. All right, we'll crack open our torque tune motor here. There's no paperwork. Already has plugs on it. We're going to retain the plugs, I believe. This makes things a little easier. Again, we're not we're going for durability versus all-out performance here, I guess. And I just mistakenly was getting ready to put the motor over here. We have motor screws already installed, it appears. Okay, so there's a little plate here, and you screw the motor to the plate evidently, and then you screw the plate to the car. All right, instead of y'all watching me fumble around here, I'm going to hop off and see if I can get this motor in, so I don't waste a lot of video here just trying to shoehorn a motor in a car that's too small. I'm running into problems with the motor wires hitting the other side of the pod. I'm going to see if there's some way to... I don't want to cut on anything. I just want to... It's got to fit, so we'll figure it out. All right, we got it shoehorned in there. Didn't have to cut anything. Just had to get it positioned just right. And the motor's mounted on this motor plate now. And you're going to adjust your gear mesh by raising and lowering the motor. We're using Robinson Racing 32 pitch gears. It could stand to be a little bit longer gear. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure somebody does, a longer shank on here so we can get onto the motor shaft a little bit better. That's as far out as I could get it to where it'd still be true and not be fragile to get knocked off. And we got 3/4 of the spur gear connected or touching there. You see the difference. But we needed about another 1/16 of an inch of pinion gear. Because if I push it out this way anymore, it's coming off. But we're going to try it because that's what we have. We're both new to this. He just bought it just out of curiosity, I believe, because we're going to run, we run Legends, and he just wanted something different. And this car does have a little bit of adjustability. And it's a huge following in Europe. It just seems to be a really fun class, a big class. There's not a lot of, which there is some tunability, it looks like, in this chassis, but it's very simplified. Everything's made out of fiberglass. It's not carbon. It's fiberglass or 3D printed. I think the kit is around 120, 130 bucks US. About the same price as a Legends car. The wheels are super cheap. The wheels are only like $7, $8 a pair. They have a very unique hub. We'll get into that before we put the wheels on. Got the gear mesh set. In order to get the motor in, I had to move this hub here. Just take it loose and pull the spur gear away from the car. just so I could get to the screw a little bit better. And then once we got it all lined up, everything kind of fell into place. That motor is, or that wire is touching the other pod plate, but it's not hurting anything because that pod is solid. Well, it's not solid. It's mounted on a spring, but like I said, it's not going to twist and hurt anything. So there we go. We got a motor. We got steering. Only thing we got left to do is put the motor, speed control and receiver in there, and this thing will be ready to power up. I appreciate y'all coming back. So many unfinished projects going on. I'm getting to the point where I have to stop and just like finish something because it's these are pretty. The last few steps are getting more complex as far as painting bodies and setting up electronics and stuff. Because the cat's done, it needs to be needs to have electronics input in it. So I'll quit talking about all the other projects and try to work on this one. That's another reason why nothing gets done. See something shiny, I'll go work on it next. The Bad Chad of RC. We'll finish something, I promise. There you go. It's already pre-wired. We already got a Dean's plug on it, so we can power this thing up. And we get off our electronics set. Got you some two-sided tape, red and black shrink wrap, a couple of zip ties, and always the most fun part of buying parts, you get stickers. So we'll hop off just a second here, get this thing taped up, and we'll try to figure out where we're going to position all of our electronics. Alright guys, we're back. We got everything stuck down, and have you ever heard the term of putting 10 pounds of crap in a 5-gallon bucket? Here we go. Here's a prime example. This whole thing is full. We got to do some creative wire tucking here. Got my dollar store zip ties in all the cool colors. I'm not going to shorten the motor wires, but I kind of wish I did. But the only way to shorten them now would be to take the motor back out. I'm not going to do all that. So we're going to try to zip tie it up, make it kind of tidy it up like so. And then we got to do something with this spaghetti here. All right, we're back. And I had to make some pretty major adjustments here because with the speed controller where I had it over here, the battery was not going to fit. We did get the new battery mounts on. They don't make it any wider. It just gives you more adjustable front and back, and it gives you this little Nerf wing here to protect your bands and to protect the little band mounts. I just watched their video on YouTube and learned a few things. You can add up to 3 bands on each side for just your side dampening or side stiffness. There's a thumb screw on the center spring you can adjust to soften or stiffen it. And they had a different kind of speed controller, and their speed controller was standing up. So I mounted the speed controller on the back of the servo and on the chassis here. I would be a little bit concerned for heat, but these things are not going to get hot. They're not under a lot of pressure. They don't weigh anything, and you're not going to be running it for a long period of time. It'd probably be like a 5-minute race, 6-minute race. So we did have to put the speed controller on its side, move the receiver over here. Now we have clearance. I did have to modify the speed controller. They have these 2 little tabs where you can adjust. These are non-programmable speed controllers, but you can manually program it to forward, reverse, forward, brake reverse, and then just forward and no reverse. And you can also go LiPo and nickel metal just by moving these tabs. We set it up in LiPo with forward, reverse, and brake, and I had to cut the pull tabs down. They hang out about, I don't know, about 1/8 inch or so. We trimmed them down. If we ever do have to adjust it again, easy enough with some needle nose pliers, you can pull it out. You can still get a hold of it. I didn't cut them completely off, is what I'm saying. Just trimmed them up. So now I do have room this way to get the battery in, but this battery is just too big for this car. It's the battery's too long. We'll have to get the Slim Shorty pack, I think, that'll fit in it. I have one in my box, and we'll fit it in there before we turn it on. But yeah, troubleshooting. I have no idea. I've never done one of these. Like I said, there's no instructions. They do have pretty good support. It's one guy that's building them. If you get the car, he's already built it. He said unless it gets overwhelmed with kit orders, then he'll continue to build them, but you get it pretty much assembled. A couple of the optional parts that were in the kit I learned on this little video was these are some steering stops to limit the steering so it don't get stuck. I guess he's developing. The car came out in 23, and now he's got some 2024 upgrades, which includes this and the steering stops. And I'm not sure what these little blocks here are for yet exactly. I'll have to do some more research on that. It did come with another brace with this longer battery mount. It stiffens the chassis up a little bit more. It carries your chassis brace, and the holes are already pre-drilled in the chassis, so it may have been something that he upgraded and then didn't quite include it in the kit initially, but it is in there now. These are front body post mounts. We got those in the box. This is the new bumper. It's printed, but it's printed foam. And it's got their bat logo in it. It's pretty cool. And a diffuser for the body. We're going to take a break after racking our brains getting this thing set up. I think we're good as far as electronics fitment now. We just got to try a different battery. Our wheels shouldn't hit the receiver. And it shouldn't hit the servo, obviously, because it's already mounted to the chassis. If it does, it's hitting the chassis. Got the motor in, got it meshed up. We'll keep an eye out for a longer pinion gear. I'm not sure what brand the pinion gears they run. Have to check that out. But these will work. I mean, it's like I said, it's 90% of the spur gears making contact. Yeah. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll throw the wheels on it. And we'll get the body mounted. And if we got time, we'll get it painted. If not, you'll have to come back and subscribe and see what we come up with next. All right, guys. I'm not sure where I left off, but let's scan you down here a little bit. I did have to rearrange the electronics to make room for the battery. So now we're going to throw the tires on it. And once we get the tires on it, we're going to bind the radio. And actually, we should bind the radio first. That way it don't take off on us with no wheels on it here. We'll have it powered up. We'll bind the radio. And then we'll show you what wheels and tires we got. And then we'll show you the body. Get that mounted up. And yeah, we'll see how far we get tonight. We're a little bit ahead of the game, but still a little bit behind. We're getting close to Sunday, and this is your Sunday video. So, yeah, let me hop off, go grab a battery, and we'll get this thing bound up. I'm not used to the touchscreen scroll thing there version because my old school radio has a roller, and it's a little easier to just roll it, but the rollers wear out and break. So, I've heard good, bad, and different with that screen. I mean, I like the radio. It feels really good, but that's can be a little annoying. Okay, let's crack open some wheels and we'll throw those on. All right, we're done fumbling around with that radio. I did manage to get the model name. I went ahead and put the model name from VRD in there because I thought I had it, but I didn't, evidently. Maybe I'm just got to get used to new things. That's different. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Wheels and tires. So we have the Contact brand. And we have a couple of different shore ratings here. And diameters. They run a little bit larger diameter on the rear. You don't really have to true your tires when you get them. You got a 46 and a 48 millimeter. It's not much difference. And we're going to run probably the same shore rating on both ends. We'll do the... I think he's got, what's he got going on here? 37. We'll run the 37s. They're about the hardest compound we got. And we'll run a 45 in the front of the... I like to set the car up a little bit tight versus like understeer versus oversteer. So these are the 48s. There's the fronts. And these are just Contact brand. They are the wheels that you've probably seen if you've run carpet at all. The same wheel. But they do come with these sweet looking little hubcaps that look like a little stock car wheel. And these fit. They're designed. Get these little fins. They're designed to fit in between these spokes. And what these do is they protect the sidewall a little bit, keep it from chunking. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So there's our rears. We'll throw those on right quick, and then our fronts. It's got kind of a unique hub design in the rear. The fronts, typical cool stickers. Fronts are typical pan car style. They got bearings in them. So, and I guess they already come pre-trued. The fronts are always smaller, so it's just I didn't even look to see if they were front or rear. Well, it does say front there, but the front are a little bit smaller diameter. And the rear has a very unique hub design, and evidently it's universal on these cars and the Mardave type cars, and I think Schumacher makes a car like this. It's kind of like an hourglass, but it's or just two half circles, and it just locks it in place. Okay, I just learned something else. The hubcap will come off. It just pressed to fit with the wheel nut on. I'm learning as we go, people, just like you are. I have no idea what these. I've never messed with one of these cars. There we go. That looks pretty cool. We're gonna throw these other two on, and then we'll show you the body we got, and we'll start cutting that thing out and get it fitted. But that's a cute little machine there, a little short wheelbase. We'll be right back. All right, we got all the wheels on. Cute little car. The body we got. It is a fat bodies. Mini Cooper, wide body, a little fat little mini. It does have the wheel arches already pre-marked. It does not have any pre-marked body mounting holes because we do have to, well, these bodies probably fit on other cars. So we'll have to get a little creative when mounting the rear. I may pull the post off and just use the holes for the body post so I can just kind of eyeball it. All right, guys, we got the body mounted, and he had purchased the aftermarket or optional bumper and diffuser set. They are made for this Mini Cooper body, and the car comes with these body posts. They have these infinite adjustments. They got holes all the way to the bottom. They come with a little pad, the little swivel pad. And the rear, this little shock mount area, it's not really a shock mount, it's a body mount brace or a bracket. It has 3 holes. It's just a few millimeters difference up and down. So you do have some options on raising and lowering the body. And this diffuser is made to fit in this body. It is a little bit tricky to mount it. We had to oblong the wheel openings a little bit bigger than what the factory drawn lines, which is kind of understandable because every car is going to have kind of different tire sizes and such. So we got it on there. We cut it into factory holes. I was slightly off on the rear. I was a little bit too far to one side, but that's not a problem because this diffuser will only allow you to have this body centered. So one thing we did to combat that, we just took the Dremel tool and oblonged these holes and made a slight oval. We didn't get them huge. We just made them a little bit longer, and that equalizes it and it gives it a little bit of side-to-side adjustability. But instead of it flopping around, the diffuser is going to hold it in place, and it will self-center itself. So it's a no-brainer once you get there. There's the back, and you see our slotted holes are slightly slotted, and they're not moving now because the diffuser is holding the body centered, and the wheels are not sticking out on either end. On the front, the bumper acts like almost like a splitter. It is the perfect shape of the body. So that is a printed foam. It's very flexible. This is the one that came off the car. It's kind of hollow. I don't know if how they determine the infill. You can feel the ribs inside of it, but it is a hollow. It doesn't weigh much of nothing. It comes with the nuts already installed, so it's simple. Just take the screws out and swap it out. But this bumper is made for this particular body, so we got a good fit. And I wanted it low as possible because it looks cooler low. Hopefully we don't have to go up anymore. The car's got a little bit of suspension movement, but not much. And we may have a little bit of rubbage. But because if I raise it up anymore, the bumper's going to be hanging down lower than the car. So I think we're good there. If anything, we might have to trim us just a little bit, maybe just a slight body washer, just to get it up off the fender a little bit, because we're a little close right here on this side. It's running, but we do have a little bit of suspension movement, and that may hit. We may not have to trim that, but I do think we're going to run a body washer, just maybe a millimeter, because you don't have that fine of adjustment with the pin. If we go up one hole, it's going to be kind of tall, so I think we just need about a half a hole is all we need. So trying to fine tune it. We do have a spoiler for the roof, and I'm not sure how it exactly mounts. Probably just a couple of screws, and it almost looks like it needs some standoffs to hold it up off the roof, but we'll figure that out once we get to finalizing the body here. But there you go. There's your Batcave Joker. From what I understand, like I said, it's the only one in the U.S. and I can't wait to get this thing on the track. We may get it on the track next week, so we have to tune in for that. We may go up on a practice night and just give it a few runs. All right, so there it is, finalized with the body on it, all mounted up. Next step is obviously paint. We're going to take this thing inside, get it washed up, get it ready to prep. And we're not sure what kind of scheme we're going with, but like I said, we're going to do some kind of race car theme, maybe something retro but modern, and something maybe BMW inspired. I'm not going to try to do the British flag on the roof because it does have a lot of features in the roof, and that'd be really difficult to put all those designs over. It's got like kind of a duct in the center of the roof. We could do the checkerboard roof that's on a lot of Mini Coopers. That would be cool. And do our own twist on it, do it kind of wavy. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way. I just talked myself into that. So maybe a BMW scheme, checkerboard roof, and we got to cut some numbers. I got to break out that Cricut machine. I got to figure something out and get some numbers cut. So stay tuned for the body paint, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, I believe that's a wrap for today's video. We run a little bit long, and I don't quite have enough time to get the body painted this weekend. But come back next week. Maybe Wednesday we'll have that done. That's the plan anyways, and we are going to go with the checkerboard roof. I think that'll be really cool. Can't wait to get this thing on the track. It looks like a fun little car. It's a good little entry-level class, and we may be the only one in the U.S. with one, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, appreciate all the new subscribers. If you hadn't, click that button. I think I got 70% of my viewers are not subscribed. It's free. Just hit that button, and you'll get notifications whenever we do a new video. So that's it for today. Appreciate it. And there's our Batcave Joker, complete, ready to go, minus the paint job. So come back Wednesday, and we'll get some paint on this thing. Thanks.